I have an authority of 0. Challenging check of 12. I am an enemy commander of rank. Put it down. So, if I put all of my points into authority... Oh, I can't even do that. I can only put 3 points into it. So, at best, this would get to, like, 30%. You don't even have a magazine.
You're right. It's a good thing I got one in the chamber.
Yeah, I suppose you always have to assume that.
Oh, wait. Yes.
Alright, I'm not going to try tempting this authority check. It will fail, and it will just make him even more, you know, aggressive towards us, I guess. Alright, keep the gun down while we talk.
The fuck?
Kuno's looking at you like you just shat yourself.
No fucking way. Not on Kuno's life.
With his finger pointing at the deserter through his jacket pocket, the kid turns to the old man.
Officer Kuno's got his keel 8-9 pointed at your fucking head, and he is gonna blow it clean off if you don't drop your weapon right now!
His pointed finger is moving inside his pocket. Now, I hope that the deserter understands that this is a child, and he does not have a gun in his hand. But we'll see.
Even with the intensity he's putting in those words and the fidgeting in his pocket, the kid is unconvincing.
Also, he called himself Officer Kuno.
Disarmed by a kid. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
Ah. The old man lays the rifle down carelessly, then looks at it lying there.
Like an amputated limb in the sand, he stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sadness, like a song.
What did you say? Or let it be. Oh, what did you say?
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
Present. Ooh, this is good. Either we can try and finish the thought, or let him say it. I think, yeah, let's try and, you know, reach some common ground. The present?
The present, to be afraid, cold.
The old man pulls back the hood of his plastic cape and looks up into the sky. It's blue-grey, the same colour as the sea. Those words, the future teaches you. Pick up the gun lying in the sand. Who are you? What have you been using the gun for? That's it for old now, old man, stay put. Those words, the future teaches you.
Real music. Real Proletkult. That's La Revacholière, not your rock and roll misanthropy. Chanson de soldat of the black and whites.
Marching song.
I'm not a misanthrope, I'm a half-dead police officer who's just doing his job. I know La Revacholière, it's the marching song of the world revolution. Understood. I know La Revacholière.
There you go. 1 of 3. In Grad, they sang Brave Children, favourites of history. And in Sinyao, it was... some Samaran shit, I guess.
La Revacholière, I've heard that name somewhere else in a dream. How does it go, the song? Thank you for clearing that up. How does it go?
How did it go?
He looks at his gun on the ground and shakes his head slowly.
Something about shooting rabbits. I don't know. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It's gone now.
He waves erratically with his hand, annoyed that he can't remember. A little tremor passes through him.
Pick up the gun lying in the sand.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire. Still warm from his parched hands. Not the metal. The metal is ice cold. This weapon has been modified several times.
Inspect it closer. This rifle has been patched and modified several times. I think we inspect it closer first.
The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangon, 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
It's as he said, it's a Triangon made in Sinyao.
This guy smoked a lot of people with this, huh?
No response from the old man. The plastic cape around his shoulders rustles in a small bout of wind.
This uses jacketed ammunition 4.46.
Mm-hmm.
Rifle's been patched and modified several times.
Looks like old shit.
The old man does not answer. He just stares in front of him.
So the gun.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. Some kind of involuntary response? Something is slightly off with his motorics. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession. In time.
Who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol.
Joseph, okay.
I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
His eyes turn to the reeds again, dead and dull.
Wait. Like the fucking ancient army.
You're a holdover from the army of the Commune of Revachol?
Yes, I am from the Insular Indian Citizens Militia. Recruited from Jamrock in 07. Trained in the École de Contrôle Ariane. Consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the Commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
You've been on this island for 43 years?
No. I've been on other islands too.
Yeah, but that's not what we meant.
I was in Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was on E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
Again, you've been hiding here for 43 years? Said you deserted your unit? What is this place, this island? How have you survived all this time? How have you concealed yourself all these years? You said this is your termless surrender. So you're a communist soldier from the communist army. I feel like it's important to know how you survived all this time.
How does anyone survive? I steal.
He looks at his worn running shoe.
Now hold on there.
That's a choice. You could have become self-employed, create the system. Yeah, we're not going into that. What do you steal?
Supplies, vegetables. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human being.
He puts his hand on his belly. How's your health?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
So yeah, he's dying.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
Kuno's dad has this shit. Wine belly. The cops can take care of this, right? Medicine shit. With, like, facilities.
Yes, it may be serious. Cancer even. The police can give you medical services. You need to be looked over. That's what you get stealing things. Alright. Outright blame him. No, you need to be looked over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
We also have Druamine.
We have Druamine and other opioid-based painkillers. You must be in pain. There's a serious situation. You need to be looked over and we can do it. How have you coped mentally? Thank you for clearing that up. Yeah, there was a load of Druamine in the base.
I have been running out of that stuff.
A light goes on in his eyes. He smacks his dry lips.
There's no way he could manage the pain without them. It's safe to say he is addicted to painkillers by now.
You like that Druamine, don't you?
It's the little joys. The dark joke. A sunshiny day. Morphine.
How have you coped mentally?
I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of...
His eyes roll into his skull and back.
I don't even know what. Inferno?
Not appreciatively. I also live in hell. I also have holes in my brain. Point to your head. You notice that the adolescent at your side is about to say something. Ooh. Do we let Kuno say it, or do I also say I've got holes in my brains? Let's see what Kuno's got to say.
Kuno could do this shit. Live all alone like this. Kuno could hack it.
Wouldn't want to, Kuno.
Good, Kuno. Be that. I saw the traitors of this city turn the lights back on. More and more each year. Ruins glittering in the dark. Like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
He looked down at his shoes, his face parched from the sun and the wind, and there's a wince of pain in there somewhere. Alright. So you've been hiding here for 43 years?
43 years and 10 months.
That's insane. That's steadfast. That's the length of my entire life. I don't even know what that is. That's pretty steadfast.
It's not how a human being should live. But I had to. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
What have you been doing all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
He looks across the water.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men, women, children, street hawks and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41.
Always waiting.
The old man turns his eyes from the shore and back to you. For what?
For her to return.
Who?
Girl child. Revolution.
Girl child revolution. I'm afraid she's gone. He better come. I too have given my life to Mazovian socioeconomics. I dare not dream anymore. Nothing in history is guaranteed, but revolution is still a possibility. I feel like I want to ask the question, but saying she better come too is a good one. Girl child revolution?
Always.
She better come. I too have given my life to Mazovian socioeconomics. Girl child nation is too strong for that. Nah, she better come.
A waste. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind and themselves. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
What has he done? Perhaps a confession will lighten the load.
What have you done then? This is not the time to push. I was kind of hoping this would come later, about the confession. But maybe this is the right time to do it. What have you done then?
I just mourn.
Yeah, okay. You said you deserted your unit.
I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too.
Lapse of faith?
You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took
For what?
for reaction to take hold.
What's reaction? It wasn't reaction, you were just afraid. Yes, we all have a tiny bourgeois person in us, trying to run away. I understand, communists are natural cowards, quantity over quality. And when was this? What's reaction?
Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
You were just afraid.
It's the same thing. You haven't seen it. Not really. Not naked. It's impossible not to be afraid.
It remains unclear what it is. He makes leaps he doesn't expect you to follow.
And when was this exactly?
May the 13th, 08. 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic.
Dark magic?
The combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower.
Gestures toward it.
Huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the Commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room.
He looks east. What then?
I ran. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers underground, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened of the ordnance all night, and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring.
He looks at the sky. What was that?
Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too, shattered. They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality.
Some kind of great terror, worse than you've ever seen.
Seen what?
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second to do the deed. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know.
What?
That the bourgeois are not human.
You've lost your mind. I've always suspected the same. That's definitely enough now. Say nothing, let him finish. I kind of don't really want to interrupt him, and I don't want to agree or disagree with him, so I'm just gonna let him finish.
I had to fight it. I had to never stop.
The old man falls silent, his black eyes keep piercing your skin as he looks to some great distance behind you, shaking his head slowly, retreating from it. What is this place, this island?
It's not an island, Dwat. It's a defensive fortification of the Commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender.
What was it used for?
The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted the fort with an AA gun to defend against an airborne landing. Against the whole world.
You mean the landing, retaking of Revachol?
Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. I later found out on the radio they called it Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone.
First, I'm not one of them. Coalition military? Someone who's come to end this madness? Murderers, I know what you mean. Tell me something else. Well, first of all, I'm not one of them.
Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people Deathblow?
Murderers, I know what you mean.
You don't know. You haven't seen it. Iblis.
Iblis?
The black-eyed angel.
Shaitan Order, the darkened one.
Ooh, the black-eyed angel. Okay, How have you concealed yourself all these years?
It was hard in the tens. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
What was it like?
What was it like? There was hope. A little hope. They needed to snuff it out. Martinez and Cold City were turned to dust. But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Krasmasov coursing in their veins. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequency's dead.
How did you get between here and the mainland?
At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
So in the city you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted. I just...
He falls silent, his gaze fixed on the shacks huddled up together across the water. Why don't you just walk there? The weapons cache under Songe's Lane 22B. Point to it. Basement. You've been there. There's a small bunker under the Feld building. Have you stayed there? Tell me another thing. Have you been to Songe's Lane 22B?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Belmer graves, right?
They were, that's why I asked.
Useless now. Rusted away.
You've been there.
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across.
Why don't you just walk there?
I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
The bunker in the Fell building, have you stayed there?
The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys.
Killed themselves?
A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
Tell me another thing.
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
You said this is your termless surrender.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
I'm not coalition appointed, I just try to help people. That's right, I'm with the good guys. We enforce the law, we keep these animals from killing each other. I know what it looks like, but I have secret plans to turn the RCM into a Mozovian revolutionary unit. And with the RCM, let's leave it at that. Well, I don't think Harry is trying to convert everything from the inside. He's not a killer, because he's only killed 3 people in 18 years of service. That's right, and with the good guys, it's not really the same thing, because, you know, it's hard to say you're on the side of, you know, well, technically you're supposed to be on the side of justice and fairness and everything else, like, you know, but Harry is not, as we've been told that he's taken bribes, he's with La Puta Madre, he's got a death squad apparently, so I guess I just try to help people.
You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste d'Insolande. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon, I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
His hand shakes and he breaks into a coughing fit.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit. Rene, the royalist on the coast, said,
You never signed the Revacholian instrument of surrender.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive. I answer to the Communist Party.
That why you've been here for 43 years? Because the party didn't surrender?
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
Honorable, that's insane, understood. That takes a lot of commitment to stay here for 43 years.
Honor is a feudal atavism. My motive is class.
So you're a communist soldier from the Communist Army?
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
But you said you were trained and assigned to the Defense Corps.
Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
Wait, what does a political commissar do?
The old man does not answer. He tilts his silver head and looks at the reeds. You see a small tremor pass through his legs.
My pig asked you a question. Quit spazzing out and tell him about the...
The kid doesn't get to finish the sentence.
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a knight philosopher of the revolution, a future human.
Awakened from shutdown by the promise of ideology.
That means you're a trained communist, right?
He nods slowly. Then another tremor.
Point to yourself, I'm also a communist. I'm a nationalist, by the way. Point to yourself, I'm a moralist. I'm a revolutionary too. Today, the real revolutionizing is done by entrepreneurs. I'm not really into politics myself. Say nothing. I'm also a communist, because that's what we've done with Steban.
No, you're not. You're a liberast.
You should engage him about inframaterialism. Impress him with all the ideas you picked up from the reading group.
He's not gonna care.
No, don't. This man does not subscribe to intellectual daydreams. The communism he mourns is a planetary force.
Liberast?
A liberal and a pederast. It's what most liberals are.
I'm not a liberal, I told you, I'm a communist.
The old man spits into the fire pit. He does not say anything more. A jitter passes his lower body. There's definitely something off with his body. Something more than just metabolism, or even cancer.
I have another serious question.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
Okay, so we have a composure check of Legendary 14, assesses body language. It's a white check, which is interesting because it means I can redo it. So composure is 5, so it's an even chance, but +1 more than poor health and +1 disturbed motorics. So let's try and assess his body language.